Imagine waking up every single day feeling like the air itself is heavier than yesterday, like gravity's got a grudge. That's where Lena starts. 28, single mom to a 6-year-old named Milo who's obsessed with dinosaurs, working graveyard at a 24-hour diner that smells like burnt grease and regret. Her uniform's frayed at the cuffs, tips barely cover diapers. Night after night, she watches regulars come in, same orders, same jokes, same pitying glances when Milo nods off on the booth seat, waiting for her shift to end. Inside her locker door, a crumpled flyer from 3 years ago, local poetry slam, open mic, open heart. She never went, too tired, too scared, too convinced her words weren't worth the bus fare. One blizzard night, wind howling like it's trying to tear the windows out, a stranger slides into her section. Coat dusted white, eyes sharp as icicles. Orders black coffee, no sugar. Doesn't speak until she's pouring refills. "You right," he says. Not a question. Lena freezes. How could he know? The notebook she hides in her apron pocket, pages filled with half lines about motherhood, loneliness, the ache of dreams deferred. He points at the ink stain on her thumb. Hands like yours don't get dirty from dishes. They get dirty from truth. He leaves a 20 on the table, flips it over. On the back, a phone number and one word: call. She doesn't. For weeks, the 20 burns in her purse like evidence, but Milo starts kindergarten, comes home with a drawing, him and her under a rainbow labeled Mom's Story Time. That night, after tucking him in, Lena dials. The stranger, real name Elias, answers like he's been waiting. Turns out he's a retired journalist who lost his daughter to cancer, now runs a tiny underground writing circle in his basement. No fame, no pressure, just chairs in a circle and a rule: read what scares you. Lena shows up the next Thursday, notebook clutched like armor. 10 faces turn toward her, tattooed ex-cons, wide-eyed college dropouts, a grandmother with Parkinson's who still pens haikus. She reads 3 lines about the diner's fluorescent lights making her feel like a moth. Silence, then clapping. Not polite, real, hungry clapping. For the first time, she breathes without tasting grease. Weeks blur. Elias gives her assignments. Write the worst thing you've ever done, the best thing you've never told. Lena's pieces get raw, about the night Milo spiked a fever and she couldn't afford urgent care, about the ex who promised forever then vanished when the rent doubled. One night, she writes about the $20 bill, how she almost threw it away because hope felt like a luxury. Elias listens, tears tracking his weathered cheeks. "That's gold," he says. "People don't want polished, they want the grit." But fear claws back. Milo gets sick, real sick, ear infection turning into strep. Bills pile. Lena skips sessions. Elias texts, "Missing your voice, the room's quieter." Guilt gnaws. She returns with a story about shame, how she once pawned Milo's first birthday gift to buy formula. The group doesn't judge. A woman named Jade, single mom too, slips her a Ziploc of homemade soup. Another guy, Ray, who's rebuilding after prison, teaches Milo how to make paper dinosaurs while Lena reads. Community, not charity. That's when something shifts. Lena stops surviving, starts building. Elias slams the fist down on the table one dim summer morning. Enter the citywide spoken word contest. Prize money, $5,000, enough for Milo's antibiotics and maybe a deposit on a real apartment. Lena laughs it off. "I'm not ready." But the group votes, unanimous. They rehearse in the basement, Jade timing her breaths, Ray beatboxing rhythm, Elias recording demos on his ancient phone. Lena's poem, "Grease on My Dreams," becomes a storm, about flipping pancakes while her soul flips burgers, about love that leaves grease stains you can't scrub off. She practices until her throat's raw, until Milo falls asleep to her whispered lines. Community center packed, judges with bored faces. Lena steps up, heart hammering like the diner's old espresso machine. First line, "I serve coffee to people who look right through me," and the room leans in. She paints the diner like a battlefield, her pen the only weapon. By the end, she's not reciting, she's testifying. Silence, then thunderous applause. Judges confer. Third place? No. First. $5,000 in her trembling hands. Milo, waiting backstage with Elias, launches into her arms, yelling, "Mommy won!" But the win cracks something deeper. Next session, Lena confesses, I thought money would fix me. It didn't. You did. Elias smiles, pulls out a folder, her poems compiled. Publish it yourself, he says. Call it what it is. She does. Grease on My Dreams, a diner waitress finds her voice. Self-published, 50 copies, sells out in weeks at the diner. Customers who once ignored her ask for signed copies. One regular, a tech bro who tipped in quarters, buys 10 for his startup team. Your story's better than any TED Talk. Months later, Lena quits the diner, starts a workshop in the same basement, now hers, rent covered by book sales. Milo draws dinosaurs on the walls. Elias teaches kids how to rhyme. Jade opens a soup kitchen next door. Ray designs their logo, a cracked window with light pouring through. The channel name? Growth Window. Not polished vlogs, just raw nights. Lena reading fresh pieces, Milo popping in with dino facts. Views climb because it's real. No filters, no fake tears. Just grease, grace, and the sound of pages turning. Lena stands at that old diner window, now closed, flipping the sign to closed. Snow falls soft. She whispers to the empty room, "Thank you for breaking me open." Outside, Elias waits with Milo, both holding copies of her book. She steps out, not running anymore, just walking. The window behind her, still cracked, but light floods through, bright enough for 3.